And we are live. What's going on, everybody at home? It's Into the Backlog. I'm your host today, Bowler. With me is my best friend here, Marty. Look at that cute face. Marty, what's going on, bro? How you doing today?
We good.
Heck yeah. So today we're going to be discussing the Reincarnated as a Slime movie, Scarlet Bond. Marty and I saw it over the weekend, and we're a little late on the review, but better late than never, as I always say. So Marty, real quick before we get into the movie, is there anything you did this week that you want to talk about, or anything got out of the backlog, or were you just chilling?
Only created more backlog. I had my weekend. I used my weekend. I did not watch my shows. I'm trying to catch up on my shows. There's so many shows.
Oh, yeah, this is why I didn't end up picking up so many shows, because I didn't want to get jam-packed.
It's fine. I almost caught up. I only have like 8 more.
Oh, hey, that's not bad. So you just had a nice chill weekend then?
Yeah, it was a good, yeah, Saturday I was helping a friend because he's going through a hard time. But other than that, it was a good weekend.
Hey,
Even that wasn't bad. Still hang out with buddy.
Very nice. You always got to be there for your homies. I myself didn't do much either. Just chilled over the weekend as well. I read a little bit more Pundit Unluck, which is starting to get pretty good.
It wasn't the weekend when you were leaking out of your butthole, was it? Or was that during the week? Or were you not doing it? Was it just the others?
There is a stomach flu going on right now, yes. And that was on the weekend. But I have been reading Undead Unluck. And like I said, it's getting pretty freaking good. I'm starting to get hooked on it. But I took a little break for that, and I finally jumped back into God of War Ragnarok, because I slacked way too hard on that. But I'm actually getting to a really good part of the story for that now. I don't know how far you're into it, but
how many worlds have you been to?
So I'm putting the spoilers down now.
There you go.
I'm at. I finished the elf place, and something.
I did that.
Yeah, and then Atreus ended up getting separated, and now I'm playing as Atreus, and I'm following like this wolf or something, and it's pretty freaking good. Loving it. Again, I'm really.
That's still really early too, though. That's not like deep into the game.
Yeah, I'm assuming so, but I'm really glad that I'm finally like hooked on it again, and I can play it.
I get that.
But yeah, let's just go ahead and jump into the movie then. So once again, we saw that time I got reincarnated as a slime, Scarlet Bond the movie.
Highly suggest you watch the anime before watching the film.
Yeah, so for those that haven't seen the anime, this movie basically starts after season 2. So if you haven't seen any of the show, you will be extremely confused if you watch this film. So definitely go watch the show before you check out the film. So just like a brief synopsis on it. So the story starts out, if you have watched the show, there's a group of ogres that Rimuru, Tempest, the main character, befriends and helps out. And the character that we meet in the beginning of the movie is apparently their long lost brother, not actual brother, but like a really close childhood friend. So he ends up, you end up seeing what happened to him, and it basically sets up the events of the film. How'd you feel about that, Marty? What'd you think of his character?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've seen this character 1,000 times before. It wasn't anything too special for me, as far as him as a character goes.
I agree. We can get more into his personality later and some things that he did, but I agree. But I liked his character design, and I thought the setup for the film was pretty good. He ends up going to this kingdom, and for those that have seen the show, and even if you haven't, in the show itself, what ends up happening is that if you name a monster or a creature in this universe and they gain a name, they basically evolve and they get like a power up and everything. And this happens in the beginning of the film for the character, and this queen who he meets names him Hero, which is probably a common name at this point, but I liked it. I thought it was a cool name. And that basically set up, again, the events of the film. So it jumps into what's going on with Rimuru and everyone at Tempest. And basically, the film gets Rimuru to go to this kingdom that's suffering from some kind of like poisonous lake.
Yeah. It's specific. They keep calling it poison, I think, or poison curse.
Yeah, something like that. And the queen of this kingdom has this like necklace or like pendant.
It's a tiara.
A tiara, yeah, thank you. So she has this tiara and she uses it to cleanse the poison. But Hero ends up going to Tempest and meeting Rimuru and his long lost friends, brothers, everything. And he asks Rimuru to save the queen and the kingdom. So that's more or less like the non-spoiler version of the film. I would say, if you really want to talk about it more, we're going to have to get into spoilers. So if you have not seen this film or the show, go watch it and then come back and check out a review.
Well, we can say how we felt about it overall real quick before we really start digging in there.
Sure, but, that's fine. How did you feel about the film overall, Mark?
I didn't have any problems with it, but it didn't do anything that made it stand out for me either. It was fun. It was like watching another a long episode of the show, kind of. But it didn't have the same payoff you'll get in the show too when there's build up. But
I agree. Yeah.
I'll get more into detail about a few things I felt about, but it was nice getting to see a lot of the main show's cast and even side characters make a lot of appearances. That was fun.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I more or less feel the same. I really enjoyed the film personally, but like it's clearly like it felt canon, but it's not canon to the story. There are obviously canon characters in it, I guess, from what I was looking up. I didn't look up too many spoilers, but I just was curious about a certain character that we'll get into later, and that character is canon. So I don't know how that will affect the actual anime for that character's appearance. But overall, I still enjoyed it. I definitely think it's a must-see, especially if you're a fan of the slime, because just getting to see like...
Fan, you'll probably like it.
Yeah, if you're like a really big fan of the show, you'll like the movie, I think. And it's just always great to see like an anime come to the big screen, especially in America. Sometimes we don't get that, so... I don't know, but yeah, we'll go ahead and jump into spoilers now. I would think, unless you have anything else to add.
I probably just mentioned like until the final act of the film, I didn't really feel like it. There was a few moments, I guess, in between, but it didn't feel like I saw a lot of the film's budget or a film's budget. Instead, it still felt like the show's animation for the most part.
Yeah, that's definitely true. It's like. I mean, slime itself, the show never looks bad, but like
no,
you really. I
was wondering if with the movie budget, if we'd see like more.
Yeah, I'd say we see that towards the end once we get to the big fight. But even then, I guess I don't really know what their budget was for it. But again, the movie doesn't look bad. But I agree with Marty; it didn't look like normally like when you see an anime like. Film for anime, like you can really tell like it's a movie like, oh man, the animation is just like skyrocketed.
One you can use as examples like Code Geass, the original show versus the film remakes.
Oh yeah, definitely. They really upped the animation quality. We actually got a comment from the Big Chief who is with us today because he didn't see the film. He ended up having to miss it. Due to some family stuff, but the music I thought was on point. The music's never bad in Slime, but
they used a lot of tracks from the show, which isn't a bad thing necessarily.
Yeah, well, and so the I forget her name. I think it's Minda Rin or something. She did the season 2 opening. Like she sings kind of like in English. You know who I'm talking about? The female.
I've probably heard them, if nothing else.
Yeah, she sings another song, and then band that did the ending to season, like the first ending to season 2, had there was a song that was playing during like some scenes, which was just cool to see. Overall, music was solid. So we'll go ahead and jump into spoilers now. So basically, the reason Hero ends up going to Tempest is because in the story for Slime, the anime, the ogres end up getting killed by, what were they? I forget what they were getting killed by, Marty. Do you remember? I forget the name of the monster race. It was like
orcs.
Orcs. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
But so we had to go even further back because the movie started in a flashback.
Right. Okay. So do you want to explain it, Marty?
Sure. Since I have very good memory. So we don't get directly told immediately. We kind of get told through context clues and conversations that our main character, Hero, who is unnamed at this point, who was a part of Clayman's forces. So if you've watched the anime, that means a lot to you. Right. He discovered that Clayman had laid plans to destroy the ogre village. And he tries to escape to warn everyone. Doesn't quite make it. All his friends who tried to escape with him die too. It's bad times for everyone.
Yeah.
And then he gets rescued by, I want to say her name is Toa. Is that the princess's name?
I got the thing pulled up. Her name was
Sati.
Oh man, where is her name?
Well, while he discovers her name, she rescues him, and as he mentioned earlier, names him, giving him the name Hero and the associated upgrade. He gets much prettier, much stronger.
Yeah, it was Toa. And
okay.
I thought it was, like, I guess kind of cool that Hero is like a evolved form. He basically looked like Benimaru, but just like,
yeah, a lot, yeah.
He looked a lot like Benimaru, so I thought that was cool to like consider each other brothers.
But the reason he goes to Tempest is actually because Toa is cleansing the lake of its curse, but by doing so, she is absorbing the curse that is within the lake. Correct. So he wants to go to see if Rimuru... Actually, he doesn't even go to see if Rimuru can help. He actually goes to see if they can harvest resources from the Great Forest of Jura.
Yeah, and the people in the kingdom basically warn him that the forest is guarded by Veldora, but they're not even aware.
It's been accepted by all other kingdoms that you should not do this.
Right.
But they're desperate, so he goes to ask anyway. And when we get introduced to him again, he's in a bit of a rage state because he sees some orcs and he doesn't get along with them. Who'd have thought?
Right, because the orcs ended up killing, everyone in the village, so he ends up attacking Geld.
Yeah. And I also want to say, I'm super disappointed that we didn't get more Geld in this. It just seems like it would have made sense.
Yeah, I definitely agree, especially because, and actually that was a lot of people's complaints that I saw online, is that
I bet
they didn't really, the movie doesn't really go into the ogre's his vengeance story at all or anything, which...
Well, he has that brief fight with Geld, and then he's just over it.
Yeah, and I feel like the only reason I was able to accept that is just because, all of his, siblings, friends who were there, they're like, oh, it's all good now, we made up. Which, again...
They lived, but everyone else died.
Yeah. No, yeah, again, I made peace with it pretty quick just because I'm like, all right, it's a movie, it's not canon, whatever, but I agree that if it was in the anime that happened, I would have been more upset. But for what we got, I think it was fine. But yeah, so after he ends up attacking Geld, Rimuru and everyone shows up. He finds out that all of his friends and brothers that he played with when they were kids, trained, everything, are still alive, and that's when they end up going to Raja, I think was the name of the kingdom.
That sounds right.
Yeah,
I think it's Raja with an H on the end. It's weird.
Yeah, so they end up going to the kingdom. They meet the queen. They meet all the people.
Queen's counselors.
Yeah. One thing to mention is that the queen has like three like main like.
One's a doctor.
Yeah, one's a doctor, and then she has like 2 ministers, and the doctor is
finances, and I think like military probably.
Yeah, advisor, financiers, and then a doctor. And this doctor is supposedly like preventing, healing her from this curse that's slowly killing her, which we'll get into more later. And so we basically jump into Rimuru going to the lake and finding out the source of the curse, which Rimuru, being super OP, ends up finding out what the curse is right away, and he straight up Moses the lake, like just spreads the water, cures the curse, and then boom, everything's cool. Gives the queen medicine.
Probably one of the movie's biggest weaknesses. Is just Rimuru is too overpowered at this point already.
And that was another like I read the Anime News Network review on the movie, and that reviewer mentioned that too. Just the fact that he's so OP. They
could have done some things to make him more even with the playing field if they wanted to, but I guess they just didn't.
Yeah, so since we're into spoilers, this movie takes place after season 2 when Rimuru becomes a demon lord. So in this film, Rimuru's already a demon lord, and he's just beyond OP. And
he's really strong.
It definitely makes it, like, I guess, the enemies of the film a little lackluster just because he's super overpowered. But I mean, again, they could have put it somewhere else, but I don't know. I didn't have too much of a problem with it, just because I personally love it when a main character is super OP.
I mean, they could have like drained him of his power temporarily or something. There's options.
They could have done something. Yeah, I do agree with that. But he ends up curing the lake right away. He gives some medicine to the queen to help with her curse that was slowly killing her. And we jump to the celebration, and we meet a new character who is this super sus like merchant that comes to the kingdom, and he finds out.
I can't remember his name. I think it starts with like a V or something.
Oh man, he's a pretty underwhelming villain, unfortunately. But I forget his name. His name is Lakua. Lakua. I'm probably butchering the name, but Lakua is. He's this like merchant. He shows up. He finds out that the lake was basically purified and everything's okay. And you find out this guy's actually evil. And he was actually the reason he was part of the reason why the kingdom was even suffering to begin.
He's a straight up demon.
Yes, he is a demon. So that's one of the big reveals that I personally thought was kind of cool, was that this guy and the doctor who was healing the queen this whole time are both actually demons. And
well, the doctor reveal's kind of funny. So the doctor's acting pretty suspicious the entire movie.
Literally, evil looks left and right, like right at the screen. And I'm watching the movie like, all right, like most good people don't look at make those kinds of looks.
But he just randomly shows up as a demon, and also immediately dies afterward. But that is the reveal.
Yeah, that was kind of.
I thought it's funny. It's not supposed to be funny, but it was funny.
Right. So real quick though, the one thing that irritated me kind of, but we should mention is, so to move the plot along, Lockwood, that merchant. Yeah,
to move the plot along for real.
He ends up getting Hiro aside and says, actually first, he, I forget what he did. Do you remember what he did to give the queen a curse again?
He poisoned the lake again.
Okay, so he ends up...
off screen, she uses the tiara to purify the lake.
Okay, so yeah, it happens off screen.
Which is kind of weird.
The demon recurses the lake, and then off screen, the queen purifies it again with the tiara, but...
When she was told not to, but she did anyway.
Bro, she cared about the people too much. That medicine she got was clearly not enough for her. But So she ends up injured again, and Hero, being super grateful that she saved his life, really wants to save her life in return. So
Yep.
the demon slash merchant guy clearly knows that, and he's like, "Hey, come with me real quick. I know a way to save her." And
But
while
first,
this is
you gotta.
happening, while this is happening, like he leads Hero to this like dark room. He looks like he looks.
Oh
out the
no, you
door.
gotta back up. You're skipping a step because before we go to this literal altar, before we go there, swallow this curse gem.
That's
No
what I was
biggie.
getting. That's what I'm getting to. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he goes to this room, looks around. Okay, no one's around. Closes the door, and then explains, "All right, you got to swallow this curse orb." And
Oh no, he swallows it before he goes there.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, you got it in reverse.
My memory's a little foggy already, but yeah.
Yeah, he's over as a little cart, and he's like, "You should eat this. It'll help."
Yeah, he straight up all mights him, gives him a hair. No, I'm just kidding. But he makes him eat the orb, and then they go to this room, and he explains that he can save the queen by giving the queen his body, him being Hero. So
Yeah.
in my mind, when I'm watching this, I'm like, all right, you're following this super sus looking dude into this dark ass room. You swallow this curse orb, and like you're just cool with giving the queen your body. Like that was my only personal, like one of my only issues with the film was like, I was like, come on.
To establish why this technically made sense from outside of in the world, why it would make sense. So there was a 10-year skip, I think, between when Hero got named to where current events are taking place. Hero had known Lakoa by name, and I guess he had helped the kingdom under his guise in some way. So this is a person he
Right.
does know from his past. It's
Yeah.
still super sus, but at least in the world, that's why it makes sense.
Right, and I can see it, but like, if I was just looking at it in my perspective, I'm like, all right, like, ain't no way I'm following this super sus dude into a dark room and I'm swallowing it.
Well, when you get to the altar, you should be asking a couple questions, probably.
Yeah. So as we move along with the plot, he leads Lakua leads Hero to this altar with the queen, and this altar looks super sus as well. And while this is happening, Rimuru and the others find out that the queen was cursed again. They're not exactly sure why the lake got recursed and everything. So they get, the main crew, re-teleport to the kingdom, and the whole battle goes down. So when we get to the altar, though, I thought this was pretty cool. Hero ends up transforming after Lakua reveals he's a demon and he betrayed him and everything. He turns into this super dope looking like demonic ogre, and I thought it was that part was really cool. And
I argue that's probably where most of the budget went, was animating that.
yeah, the transformation for that was super cool. He kind of looked like if you've seen the show Ifrit, the fire spirit, kind of looked like a mixture of him and an ogre. So I just thought that was a cool touch on the
It reeked
design.
of a lot of traditional Japanese ogre aesthetic too, which is cool.
Yeah, definitely. So that obviously, again, Rimuru and the others go to the kingdom, and this is where like the final act of the film starts. You get all the cool fights. They learn that Lakua was a demon.
We gotta talk about the tiara a little bit, because the tiara leads to the best character in the film.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion, anyway.
No,
So the
I agree.
tiara was gifted to the kingdom by a goddess, allegedly.
That's what they all believe this whole time.
Yeah.
But the truth
gets revealed by Diablo, actually, because Diablo randomly pops in, and you're going to get this all throughout the film. Characters are randomly going to pop in for scenes.
right.
And so he randomly pops in. Rimuru's talking about what's going on. He's like, I think I might know what's going on. I'm going to go fix it.
Yeah.
Obviously not his words verbatim. So we discover that the tiara was gifted not by a goddess, but by one of the primordial demons.
Yes, that I thought that reveal was super dope. The demon that we end up meeting that is the cause
Violet.
of that, her name is Violet, and I looked it
Well,
up. Well, that's her like, not her
That's
like.
how she is known.
Yeah, that's how she is
Since
known.
names kind of matter in this world.
Yeah, fair, very fair. She's not actually named, I guess, yet or whatever. But
She don't even got no body.
No, she doesn't have a body, which is why she gave the first queen of this kingdom the tiara. So
Yeah.
she ends up making like a deal. She says, "All right, you what was the deal, Marty? You probably know the
So
specifics better."
it was she gave them the tiara to be able to defend themselves, and she said that if you use too much of the power, it will consume you. This curse will pass down your line through generations, if it consumes you, I will get your body. It was a contract, but
Yeah, a contract.
again, they thought she was a goddess.
Yeah, they think she's a goddess, but she's actually a demon, which I think is kind of funny because throughout the film, the queen still refers to her as a goddess even after you learn that she is a demon. So it just kept making me laugh that she's like, "Oh, the goddess," but I'm like, wait, she's a demon. But yeah, so Violet is a canon character. So I don't know. That just makes me a little confused on how they'll like introduce her into the anime. I don't know if they will like.
We also got to see Violet and Diabolo have a cool fight.
Yes, that was probably where some of the budget went too, because that fight looked ridiculous. Like
That was cool.
like really good looking. I mean, but like it was like pretty endgame level fighting. I really like that fight. But yeah, we'll see what the anime does with her character because again, I guess she is canon in the light novels, but whenever they introduce a character in a non-canon thing and then reintroduce them in the anime, sometimes they do it weird. I don't know how they'll do it, so we'll see.
Back to the plot.
But yeah,
So
go ahead.
now that we've described Violet, because she actually is vital to the next part of the plot. Because Diabolo is visiting her, telling her to undo the curse. And she explains the plot of the curse. But Diabolo accuses her of using her subordinate to coerce the queen into using the tiara to give up her body faster. She's like, I wouldn't do that. That's against the contract.
Yeah, so her Laqua, the merchant, the sus merchant, basically screwed up the contract. And while Rimuru and this demon are fighting, Violet shows up and basically says, like, you screwed everything up, like, I'm done with you.
Well, I mean, she doesn't show up, but she tells Laqua that.
Yeah, I guess they talk, like, through their minds or something. I forget exactly what it was, but...
He's just looking in the sky, and he's seeing, like, a shining light and hearing her.
Yeah, it was maybe telepathically or something, but... So she ends up cutting ties with him, and he gets another orb and swallows it and tries to explode, like turn into a nuke to destroy the kingdom. And Rimuru's like, nah, devours him, and then boom, everything's saved. And
well, while this is going on, Hiro is fighting
Benimaru.
Benimaru, drawing a blank on his name. Yep.
Yeah, so Hiro's fighting Benimaru. Like we got Shion, who's hilarious in the film. Like several moments, she like gets really drunk while they're partying, and it's super funny. We get some cool fights from them. Although I will say, like, they're not really fights. That literally they like basically insta kill like all the like because there's a lot of like demons that infiltrated this army that. They got convinced.
So Laqua convinced another nation to attack by replacing its leaders with demons that served him.
Yeah, and all our like side characters basically just one shot all these like demon captains. So
yeah, we
didn't get like really cool fights for all the characters. It was basically just Benimaru getting a dope fight, and then Rimuru got an okay
got a
fight.
chase scene really.
Yeah, really good-looking. There's a nice animated chase scene where Rimu was riding.
Yeah, through like a mine cart system, or
a mine.
Mine shaft. I was trying to think mine shaft.
A mine shaft, yeah. And
then the other one we talked about was Violet and Diabolo.
Yeah, Diablo. No, yeah. So 3 like pretty decent fights, but like looking at it from like a move, like a.
Oh,
a
I guess Hero versus Geld is pretty good too, actually.
Yeah, but that one was too quick. Like, I feel like we could have gotten more of it, or we could have. It would have been even nicer if Geld, like helped like stop Hero from being corrupt or something.
It would have been more thematic, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. In my opinion, like the fights were still good, but like for the usual like anime movie fights we get, they were kind of lackluster. But for
I would expect more usually.
I would expect more, but for Slime, it's like I mean, Slime has some good looking fights even in the anime, but like nothing like super like shonen like level, like holy crap, like this is epic, like really epic, other than like maybe Clayman's fight and well, even Rimuru and that chick, I can't even remember her name, the black haired chick in season 2.
I think my singular favorite like animated scene from Slime still is Moomin.
Oh yeah, that one.
Which to say without really trying to spoil anything.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, overall, like I don't know, like what are your overall thoughts on the movie, Marty?
Well, real quick before we wrap it up, we should mention the finale with once the fight is over with Hiro and Benimaru, because Hiro used a cursed orb, so I guess he has to die. I guess that's the rules. Don't know where that was written down, but those were apparently the rules.
Yeah.
So
it irritated me actually.
So he died. All right, Toa saves him. Cool. She gives up her life to do it, using up the last power of the tiara. Toa dies. Okay. Violet's like, well, the contract's actually broken, so I'm gonna do you a favor, bring her back to life. No one died. The end.
Yeah, so it's like there was no consequences for the thing at all. Like everyone was.
They fake you out twice, which like, okay, I guess.
I don't know. I thought it was. Again, I was almost pretty pissed off when Hiro and Toa. Like, I feel like if Hiro died,
one of them should have died.
One of them should have died. But like, if we were to get one of them, I feel like it should have been Hiro. Just because
it should have been Hiro. I mean, he had death flags the entire movie, and it would have been
the entire movie. I would have been cool with his death, but then once Toa died, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, after all she went through, like, but. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else we missed that was cool to talk about. I know a nice little thing that we got was when Diablo and Violet were done with their fight. Diablo mentions that someone really powerful named him, because the whole time Violet's wondering who the heck would named you, because like his other name that he went by was Noir or something, I think.
That was what he was known as, a primordial demon, I believe is what they're called.
Yeah. So he says Rimuru's name, and as Violet's leaving, she says,
can't remember how many of them there are though.
Oh, you got me.
It's not a lot.
Probably like 6 to 10, something like that.
It's probably 7. 7's usually what they go with for like 7 deadly sins and stuff.
Oh yeah. I don't even remember if they mentioned the number in the movie. They might have.
No, it's in the anime. It's not in the movie. They don't even mention she's a primordial demon. You only know that if you watch the show and you know what the colors mean.
Yeah.
Because they're named after colors.
Right. And again, that goes back to like you really have had to have seen the show to like catch even little details like that.
Yeah.
I don't. Was there any like favorite scenes of yours, or scenes that like really like irked you that
I just liked Violet. I liked meeting the character. She was cool.
She was really fun.
She excited me because it was a primordial demon. It's only the second one we've seen besides Noir. We didn't even see a ton of Noir so far either in the show.
No, because he basically appears at like middle or end of season 2, so like.
And then leaves.
Yeah. One thing we didn't mention that I thought was hilarious was as they're leaving, Rimuru asks Veldora to guard the village, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And if he doesn't, like, he won't make him any more manga. So if you've seen the show, you understand that. But for those that haven't seen the show, so because Rimuru is from our world and then he reincarnates, he's able to like recreate manga from our world, and he does this for Veldora, one of the characters, and he loves manga, so it was like a big deal, which I just thought was really funny. But
So, just
ahead.
to correct you a little bit, because that's not why he asked him to watch it. He asked him to watch it because he knows Veldora is a tsundere, and he tells him he's the only person he could trust to do it.
Oh, okay. Even better.
No. You're thinking of the consequence, but continue.
The consequence, right. I do love that he's a tsundere, though. It's so good. But yeah, so at the end of the film, one of the characters we haven't mentioned, but if you've seen the anime, you'll know her, is Milim. She's one of the demon lords. She's one of my favorite characters, personally, but her and Veldora basically play together, but what it really is a massive shonen battle that like destroys everything around them. And even though we didn't get to see that when they come
that would
back,
have been nice actually if we got to see that.
That would have been fun, like a fun little addition to add. So we don't get to see them play, but we get to see the aftermath. And when they get back, like the entire village is busted up. All the people, not all the people, but a lot of people are like, they have like injuries, like bandages on. I thought that was really funny. That was actually one of my favorite scenes, even though it was brief.
And the Rimuru punishes Veldora with no manga.
Yeah, no manga.
Milim gets punished by another demon lord.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this demon lord. She only appears in the show. She's the white-haired demon lord with wings and the massive tatas.
I cannot tell you her name.
I've only seen the season once, and there's so many characters. Even for me, who I'm usually good at remembering names, but Slime just has a lot of like characters, so it's hard to remember.
A lot of characters. We get to see a lot of Shion's cooking in the film too.
Oh my god, we didn't mention that. Yeah. So one cool thing in the movie is that there are dragons in this kingdom. Like Hiro gets to ride this dragon. We get this really beautifully animated shot of him like flying around and stuff. And when they're going back to the kingdom the first time around, they end up flying on some dragons. And one of the guards that was with Hiro is flying with Shion, and I forget if he's like just says he's hungry or something, but Shion's like, "Oh, you're hungry? I got just the thing for you," and busts out her cooking, and they almost basically die. And
dragon just passes out.
Yeah, the dragon passes out. So for those that don't know the inside joke, if you have seen the show, obviously you will.
Oh, it's even better after season 2.
Yeah, so Shion, one of the best characters in the show, her cooking is atrocious. She's one of the worst cooks ever. She basically makes poison. And then in season 2, she gains an ability that basically turns her into a master chef, but her cooking still smells and looks like just straight filth. Poisonous death, filth. So that was a funny scene. I really like that. I already mentioned I love the Shion drunk scenes.
They really wanted to give everyone a chance to show up, which is fine.
Pretty much every side character got like a little bit of screen time. Obviously, they could have gotten a bit more, but I feel like some of the like side characters that got screen time got enough.
I'd actually argue that's something they should have probably tried not to do as much. They tried too hard, I think, to get too many people in.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's why towards the end of the film, they only get a small group to go to like teleport to the kingdom again to help out. They didn't get like the entire village to just run up and clap all the villains. But and any other scenes you want to mention, Mario, that you liked or disliked?
I don't think so. I think I covered pretty much everything I wanted to talk about.
So overall,
they may have used the shot of Toa purifying the lake. I'm not sure if they did or didn't. It might actually be separate shots. I'd have to see it again, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. But
the only other thing I might mention is I wish, so the Hiro and Benimaru fight is very broken up all throughout. They just keep on going back to it in between other things. And
we don't get
when I bet when you condense it, it's not much. because I feel like we didn't see a lot of it, which is too bad because it's meant to be the penultimate fight of the movie.
Yeah, the film is literally called Scarlet Bond, so like,
yeah,
you would think that they would really, go into that more. And
we got way too much Rimuru.
We did, and like at the and that's cool and all, but again, don't name the movie Scarlet Bond if you're not gonna fully cover, just keep the focus on the new character and stuff. Because I feel like he really did get overshadowed by Rimuru a bit too much.
Hiro luckily got a good amount of screen time. Benimaru got almost none.
Yeah, Benimaru got basically none. Oh, we did get a nice little heartfelt scene though where
at the graves.
At the grave, yeah. They go to the graves of all the ogres, and Benimaru and Hiro have a nice little moment. I like that a lot. But yeah, unless you can think of anything else, I guess we just overall, like,
I guess on a 1 to, we should probably start scaling stuff. On a 1 to 10 scale, where do you want to put this?
On a 1 to 10 scale, I'd give it personally a 7 out of 10. It wasn't it wasn't a bad film. Slime is my favorite Isekai series of all time. Like, I've made peace with that. I've thought about it enough. I love it. But again, just those little like issues with the film just make it slightly above average. Still a must-watch if you're a Slime fan. If you're not, do not watch this film. You will think it is probably a bad film because you really need all the context. But
I'm gonna be a little more objective with it because I'm an Isekai crackhead anyway. But it had enough problems with it that I don't want to give it a super high score. It still was good. It was still enjoyable though. It's not like glaringly obvious problems. So I'm gonna say 5 out of 10. Right in the middle, I think. Not bad, not good. Just it was fine.
Yeah, that's fair. Very fair. I'm actually gonna pump mine up to 8 though, just alone for those drunk Shion scenes. I'm a huge Shion simp, so.
I was about to call you a simp. I'm glad you took care of that for me.
She gets an extra point. She gives the movie an extra point for me. So 8 out of 10 for me, 5 out of 10 for Marty.
It actually did have quite a bit of Shion.
It did. God bless the director or whoever decided to do that.
I guess that's because we didn't see as much of her in season 2.
Yeah, they did. She didn't get much screen time for an obvious reason. But
well, if you've seen it, you've seen it.
Yeah. So again, these are our jumble but thoughts on Scarlet Bond. Again, if you can go see it in the theater and you have watched the series, go do it because it looks really good on the big screen. I think definitely.
The animation isn't bad. There's no point where I'd say the animation is bad.
Yeah. So Marty, let's go into closing. I think. Is there anything you want to do this week that's in your backlog? I know you said you got 8 more shows to watch for your anime of this glorious season. Is there anything else you're gonna do?
So yeah, I got to catch up on the shows I fell behind on this weekend since I was off and decided to do things.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that. We read our manga already, which is good.
Oh, the manga this week was freaking
manga every week is great.
Fair,
but it was good.
But there was some specifically for me there was a One Piece.
The family one in particular made me happy.
The family one.
Yeah, the Ichinose family, I think it is, or something.
Oh yeah, we got basically a wrap up for the sister. Right? Yeah. I like that. I'm glad it didn't go into a much darker place than I thought it might.
Yeah.
But One Piece and Sakamoto Days though specifically, One Piece had a crazy.
Sakamoto, yeah, that's good.
Spoil, but Sakamoto Days, I was like, oh snap, crazy what they're about to set up.
Oh, you're not caught up with it, but Undead Unluck is balling right now.
I just finished. They're going to Canada now, where I'm at.
Okay, I know where you are. Wow, that was so long ago.
I bet. Yeah, it's I think I'm on chapter 40 or something. Like the latest arc I read was pretty freaking good.
You're still in the baby section.
Yeah, I know. I'm slowly getting there, but I definitely want to read more of that this week. Keep playing more God of War. I'm trying to today I didn't play, but I'm trying to beat like a level or two every day and finally just tackle that down. Like I said, the story's starting to really pick up for me. I'm really getting hooked. Like even now I want to play it, even though it's late and I probably should go to bed. But yeah, that's about all I got going on for me. Anything else you want to add, Marty?
No, I got too much going on right now. Just trying to stay caught up is what it's gonna be.
Very fair. All right. Well, thanks again for watching, everybody. Give us a like, subscribe, comment below if you did see Scarlet Bond. Let us know what you thought of it. Let us know if you liked the slime anime and
feel free to correct us. The internet likes doing that.
Yeah, correct us if we made any mistakes. I offer any criticism. All right. Thanks again for tuning in. Bowler and Marty signing out.